Hi guys, Sean here from digiDirect. Today we're going to be taking a quick first look at the brand new Sony A7R IV. Now, like its predecessor, this camera is all about high resolution photography, but it's also seen some upgrades in some other areas as well. Without any further ado, let's start by taking a look at the body of the camera. The body is largely similar to the previous model, but there are a number of distinct improvements. Overall, the A7R IV has a very solid design with a number of dials and customizable buttons across the body. The joystick here is great for quickly jumping through menus or changing autofocus points. This is an upgraded joystick from the Mark III, and I think it's a big improvement. It's a lot easier to use in my opinion. It has a tilting LCD touchscreen and a 5.76 million dot viewfinder. That's a big resolution jump from the 3.6 million dot viewfinder on the A7R Mark III. That puts it among the highest resolution viewfinders on the market right now. It really is a pleasure to use and to shoot with. We have a number of ports, including for mic and headphones, and dual UHS 2 compatible SD card slots. Another nice improvement here is that they've deepened the grip. It's quite a bit more comfortable to hold than previous models were, and it gives much better support when shooting with larger lenses. Considering that this camera is going to often be paired with the larger G Master lenses, that's a very welcome improvement. Overall, the most important point here is that this is a very well-built camera. Everything is quality, it's sturdy, it feels like it's going to last a long time, which is important when you're working with a camera at this price point. So the R in A7R stands for resolution, and as such, the A7R Mark IV has a 61 megapixel full-frame sensor. That's about a 50% resolution increase over the 42 megapixel sensor from the A7R Mark III. So if you want very high resolution photos, you can do a lot of cropping or enlargements with, this is the go-to camera. If that's not enough for you, it also does have a pixel shift mode, which will take 16 different shots, combine them into one to give you a 240 megapixel resolution image. Sony also claims that the camera has 15 stops of dynamic range. So in terms of image quality, this camera is very, very high up there, very high image quality, a lot of detail, sharpness, and resolution. Performs exceptionally in that regard. But the improvements on the A7R Mark IV are not limited just to resolution and picture quality and so on. We also see some significant improvements in autofocus performance. So the camera has an upgraded 567-point phase detect autofocus system that covers 74% of the frame. These are fairly significant improvements over the A7R Mark III. In practice, it does a really, really good job at subject tracking. Obviously, single shot autofocus is very good. It has Sony's eye autofocus mode, which works very well, and also now works both in video and on animals as well. In addition, it can shoot 10 frames per second, which is quite impressive considering that each frame is a 61 megapixel shot. Having that kind of speed at that resolution is very unheard of. So basically, putting it all together, we have a camera that not only has very high resolution and high picture quality, but it can also utilize those advantages in more challenging shooting environments, fast action, sports, and so on, because this autofocus system can keep up with it. Often you've been faced with the choice in the past with a high resolution camera versus good autofocus. They don't usually go hand in hand, but this camera successfully combines the two, allowing you to leverage that autofocus performance in a camera that provides such high picture quality. In addition, the A7R Mark IV also has 5.5 stops of in-body image stabilization, similar to what was on the Mark III. Now, video-wise, not too much has changed here versus the A7R Mark III, but that is to say, like the 3, it still shoots very high-quality video that looks very good. It can shoot 4K at up to 30 frames per second, and as mentioned, it has both a mic and headphone jack, so you can record external audio and monitor that as well in camera. Of course, it has Sony's S-Log2 and S-Log3 and HLG picture profiles. The main improvements in video come from that improved autofocus performance. That carries over to video shooting as well. It can track subjects quite well in video, and as mentioned, the eye autofocus now works in video as well. So that's a very quick first look at the Sony A7R Mark IV. Hopefully we'll bring you more coverage on this in future as we have more time with the camera. But you can see here that the key is it brings the very high resolution photography that landscape, commercial photographers, and so on are wanting, while also providing a very strong autofocus system that allows you to use that high resolution photography in situations that we're not really used to using a high resolution camera in, sports and action photography as well. And video-wise, while it's not Sony's video-centric model, it does certainly have some very impressive video features as well, can certainly hold its own from a video perspective, and again, the video also benefits from that strong autofocus performance. For someone who wants maximum picture quality while not sacrificing in autofocus, the A7R Mark IV certainly hits the mark here, and it also sports some nice ergonomic improvements over the Mark III as well. Now, the A7R Mark IV is going to be out within the next few months. You can place a pre-order right now on our website at www.digidirect.com.au. You can also come in store to place a pre-order, or if you're watching this after the release of the camera, you can test the camera out for yourself in store. We have stores in the Sydney CBD, Bondi Junction, Miranda, the Brisbane and Melbourne CBD, and Cannington, Western Australia, which is just outside the Perth CBD. Thanks, guys. Take care.